In today's world, where everyone strives for harmony and success, a paradox often arises. A longing for peace coexists with internal chaos. The pursuit of power is shattered by the slightest life setbacks. A random glance can trigger a storm of doubts. Being ignored evokes a sense of invisibility, and an unanswered message calls into question one's own significance. Endless phone check-in, insomnia, and anxiety become constant companions. The reason lies not in the external cruelty of the world, but in the lack of skills to manage one's own mind. It is important to realize that the source of anxiety is not the events themselves, but their interpretation. This idea is not new. It was formulated by Epictetus more than 2,000 years ago. The great philosopher understood that the main battle takes place not outside, but within us. Until victory is won in this inner war, the external world will continue to control a person. He will feel weak, unstable, emotional, like a puppet controlled by invisible strings. However, there is a way out, a path followed by the greatest people in history. Those who lost everything, power, family, freedom, but retained inner strength and steadfastness. They endured not thanks to the mercy of the world, but thanks to their ability to remain impervious to its blows. How did they do it? The answer to this question can change the life of anyone who strives for true freedom and strength. Stoicism appears not just as a set of aphorisms, an aesthetic direction, or ostentatious impassivity, but as a fundamental and rigorous practice of self-control. It is a state in which external circumstances lose the ability to crush a person, since he himself has gone through the process of self-destruction and subsequent recovery. Like a skilled builder, he recreates himself anew, brick by brick, thought by thought, until his mind gains independence from the surrounding chaos. As an example, consider Marcus Aurelius, the ruler of the most powerful empire of his time. Having the opportunity to indulge in luxury, indulge his ego, enjoy pleasures and power, he chose the path of strict self-discipline. His writings, intended exclusively for himself, did not aim to impress others, but served as a tool for survival in this world. He strived to be like a rock, steadfastly withstanding the onslaught of waves, remaining unshakable, while the raging sea around it gradually calms down. It is to this state that one should strive, to the silence in the epicenter of the storm, to a mind that does not succumb to fleeting emotional impulses. Often people mistakenly believe that they need motivation, but in reality, they need clarity. It is necessary to realize the truth that most of the suffering is generated only by the imagination. An insult taken to heart is just a fluctuation of sound waves. An unkind look is a fleeting contraction of facial muscles. An unsent message is silence filled with one's own fears and conjectures. The essence lies not in the event itself, but in the interpretation of this event by a person. Epictetus wisely noted that only the reaction is subject to control at the moment of the event. By mastering it, not suppressing it, but accepting it, an individual gains invulnerability to life's adversities. In this case, a person ceases to be a puppet of external circumstances, does not flinch at every hint of rejection, at fleeting disapproval, at chaotic life waves. He becomes unshakable and calm, like a mountain. However, this tranquility is not a manifestation of weakness, but a well-deserved reward, forged in silence, in solitude, in the harsh moments of self-analysis when no one is watching. A person learns to pause, breathe, observe his mind as if it were a wild beast, until it learns to obey, until it ceases to react to every stimulus, like a slave to emotions. It may seem that discipline is increased pressure, but Stoic discipline is much deeper. It lies not in aggression, but in accuracy, in the ability to catch a thought before it manages to poison. It is about being able to leave in time, but not out of fear, but out of awareness of one's superiority over the situation. This is an understanding of the limitations of energy and the value of peace in order to spend it on what is beyond control. The lion's share of humanity wastes precious years fighting ghosts, trying to remake others, to subjugate the world to their fleeting moods, to patch up the facade, neglecting the healing of emotional wounds. But a follower of Stoic philosophy chooses a different path. He chooses the thorny road of self-improvement, striving to transform the only thing that is subject to his will, his own personality. Seneca, the renowned Roman philosopher, once said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." It is worth pondering these words. How many hours have been spent on endlessly grinding thoughts, on imaginary pictures of betrayal, rejection, collapse? And how many of these gloomy premonitions have come to life? Even if the worst fears came true, did repeatedly scrolling through these events in your head add strength? Or did it only stir up the wounds? Stoicism is not an escape from pain, but a brave look at it, so close and clear that it loses its power. The Stoic does not hide from suffering. He breathes with them, allows them to wound him. And at this moment comes the realization. The pain did not break him. He is still alive. It is this awareness that tempers the spirit. But modern man, alas, is characterized by fragility. The reason lies in his pernicious tagga to comfort and pleasure. From a young age, we are taught to avoid everything that causes discomfort. We run away from silence, from peace, from rejection. But what we run away from gains power over us. And only what we dare to face gives us freedom. The truth is that no one has power over the feelings of another person unless he allows it himself. Often, people simply overlook that they have the right to decide which emotions to let into themselves and which to reject. They forget about their role as a gatekeeper, a guardian of their own mental boundaries. There is no need to take everything to heart, justify yourself, or immediately react to every event. Calm and silence become a powerful weapon in gaining inner strength and independence. A person is not the sum of his emotions or thoughts, but rather an observer, a witness to his own life. He is like a spectator who decides what to get involved in and what to miss, like clouds floating across the sky. Therefore, when life puts you to the test again, which will inevitably happen, do not panic, make excuses, or complain. Instead, remain calm, observe, and respond from a position of strength and confidence. In a person who cannot be shaken by external circumstances, there is something sacred, rare, and almost divine. It was this quality that Marcus Aurelius demonstrated at a time when Rome was ablaze and enemies stood at the gates. It was this principle that Epictetus followed, despite his slave origin. Seneca held on to this, even when he was sentenced to death. They did not succumb to circumstances, did not blaspheme fate, and did not look for the guilty. Instead, they turned to the fire of trials to forge something indestructible in themselves. This is the quintessence of Stoicism, not in abstract reasoning and detachment, but in genuine courage, in the courage to maintain equanimity of spirit, in the courage to control oneself when the surrounding world plunges into chaos. In the courage to meet suffering without trepidation, to accept losses without breaking, and to look death in the face without a shadow of regret. Do you strive to ensure that nothing disturbs your peace of mind? Then master the art of distinguishing. Separate what is subject to your will from what is beyond your control, and direct your energy solely to the former. This is the immutable formula. This ancient code of rules is more relevant today than ever before, for the modern world tests us for strength every second. It offers countless distractions, petty intrigues, illusory power, and emotional traps. It constantly tempts us, provoking impulsive reactions, the pursuit of illusory goals, fruitless disputes, and immersion in a whirlpool of negative emotions. But your destiny is not to flounder in this whirlpool. Your goal is to rise above it. You are destined to become something more valuable and rare than diamonds, a person with a mind that cannot be broken.